Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Han and I'm a hand embroidery artist. I've been running my own small business now for about 5 years. 4 of those have been full-time. And in this video, I want to give you a quick rundown of all the different ways you can make money as a stay-at-home artist. I recently saw that term used online and it's now becoming a staple in my vocabulary because boy, do I love being a stay-at-home artist. I was speaking to my mum about this recently and she works a corporate job back in England. And she said to me that she could never imagine having a job where she doesn't have to go into the office because she really loves seeing her co-workers every day. So I can totally see how this wouldn't be a dream for everybody, and maybe you're just watching this video because you're interested, you might be intrigued as to how somebody can make a full-time income from their small business as an artist. But yeah, for me this is a total dream. I feel really blessed to be able to stay at home and just create art on a daily basis. And honestly, the thought of going into an office, interacting and seeing people every day is kind of like my worst nightmare. I am the true definition of a homebody, and if you are too and you would like to make your dream of becoming a stay-at-home artist a reality, then I really hope this video will be helpful for you. Maybe you'll be able to come up with a couple of new ideas on how you can make money as a stay-at-home artist and realize your dream of being able to stay at home and create art all day. So one of the first income revenues that you can pursue as a stay-at-home artist is selling physical products. Now this is one of the most obvious items on this list, but I wanted to cover it because personally selling physical products is one of my main sources of revenue as a stay-at-home artist. Obviously the products that you sell are going to depend on your medium as an artist. I'm a hand embroidery artist and I specialize in shoe embroidery, so all of my physical products are hand embroidered shoes. I offer around 42 different original designs, and I also offer different colorways on these products, so different variations. I found this niche and I've kind of stuck with it. I don't ever stray outside of shoe embroidery these days. I do very occasionally offer small like one-time offer kind of things. Right now I'm offering some miniature pet portraits just because I really enjoy doing them as an artist, but mostly I stick to shoe embroidery. This niche works for me and it's something that I discovered a couple of years ago and I've just kind of ran with it. But at the very beginning of my small business stay-at-home artist journey, I did a bunch of different physical products like embroidery hoops, backpacks, little keychains, like just to name a few, because the list really was endless. Anything that was embroidered by hand, I would make it. Also, it's worth mentioning that physical products can range from hand-painted oil paintings to crocheted blankets. There's really a very wide range of things that can count as physical products in the world of art. Physical products are things that you create with your own hands or you have third parties create for you, such as them printing your designs onto merch like clothing, blankets, keychains, and then you ship that item off to a customer once an order is placed with you. So let's go through just a very small handful of these items. There's keychains, postcards, physical art prints, crocheted plushies, stationery, and art supplies. Obviously, again, this does depend on your medium. My physical products as a hand embroidery artist are going to look much different from a crochet artist, and that is totally fine. Personally, I think the best success with physical products comes when you find the perfect price point for your items and the right area of the internet to market your handmade goods. So the next way that you can make money as a stay-at-home artist is by selling digital products. So this also covers quite a broad scope and it includes things such as downloadable how-to guides and all forms of printable downloadable art and templates. I personally have been offering downloadable shoe embroidery guides for about 9 to 10 months now, and they've been such a great passive form of income for me, since once you create the downloadable art or how-to guide, you don't have to ship anything out. It's just downloadable with a click on whatever platform that you sell your guides or downloadable art on. My guides personally are extremely detailed, so they did take me quite a lot of time to design and come up with at the very beginning, but once I did 1 or 2 it became much easier, and now I believe I offer around 12 or 13 downloadable embroidery guides, and it's something that I really enjoy doing as a lover of embroidery and also as somebody who really enjoys teaching and imparting knowledge. It's actually also one of the reasons that I started this YouTube channel. I do make a lot of tutorials and such on this channel. Embroidery is a dying art and I just don't want it to die, so If you're looking for a craft to pick up, hand embroidery is definitely the one that you should try. Other artistic how-to guides could include things such as how to knit a blanket or how to ice a cake. That honestly might fall under like a bakery how-to rather than an artistic how-to, but have you seen some of those cakes that people are icing and sharing on like TikTok and stuff these days? Those are some serious works of art and I wish I could do that. Maybe I need to invest in a cake icing how-to guide. In order to write a detailed, well-written how-to guide, you do need to be somewhat skilled or qualified in the medium that you are writing about. Personally, I've been a shoe embroidery artist for about 6 years, but I've been embroidering in general since I was about 7 and I'm turning 29 next year. So over 20 years, I've been a hand embroidery artist. I definitely felt qualified to write shoe embroidery guides, and I've gotten such great feedback from the people who have purchased and tested these guides out for me. So I'm really pleased that I took that leap and I wrote those guides. Another really successful niche of digital art is downloadable prints that customers purchase and then download and print themselves. I actually do this around the holidays every year. I have a look on Etsy and I download a couple of prints and then I get them printed at Walgreens or CVS. I think Staples also offers a service like this, but it's really cheap, much cheaper than buying a print at even TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and it's a really awesome way to customize your space for the holidays. And I know a bunch of other people that do this exact same thing. I actually also just purchased a custom portrait of my husband, myself, and our 2 pets for an anniversary gift, and this also leads me into another super lucrative form of digital art, which is custom work and portraits. Again, around the holidays, people love to do this. It's me, I'm people. People love to commission family portraits in different art styles, something that they can gift or display during the holiday season. Digital art like this is great because you're just responsible for drawing it out and fulfilling the customer's requests, and then making those files downloadable for the customer, and then they are responsible for downloading and printing them. You don't have to ship anything off, which also cuts down on the time that you have to spend fulfilling the order, since you don't have to rush off to the post office and you don't have to spend any extra money on shipping supplies. If you're a digital artist and you create art on a tablet or on the computer, then there's a really wide range of products that you can create from that art, such as clothing, blankets, keychains. Why am I so hyperfixated on keychains right now? Stickers is a really big one, and all of these things can be printed by a third-party service online, which is called a print-on-demand service, which would make the entire selling process much easier for you as an artist. Since they deal with the printing, the shipping, all of that stuff, you basically just have to provide the art. If you wanted to have more of a hands-on experience with selling items like this, you could invest in a Cricut. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but that's how it's spelled. It's basically a little machine that you can print vinyl decals on and stickers, and you could use those vinyl decals to put onto hoodies, t-shirts, and then also you could make stickers with your art as well. By using the Cricut method, you will have more control over the items that you sell to your customers, since you'll be packaging them up and looking them over before shipping them out. So the last little digital art bullet point would be artistic templates, and these would include downloads for things like 3D printing, machine embroidery, and downloads for things such as the Cricut that I just mentioned. These are usually files that other artists buy and then download to make their own creative processes much simpler. I do think that it's an art in itself to be able to create these kinds of files and make them downloadable for other artists to use, and this same sentiment also goes for creating really well-written, well-designed how-to guides, because I know firsthand that those things take a while to make and there are lots of design decisions to be taken into account. So I think this whole genre of digital art and downloadable files is kind of an art form in itself. The next way you can make money as a stay-at-home artist is by opening up your commissions. Commissions are slightly different than just offering a custom portrait or service on a selling platform, because I think that commissions usually cover a much wider scope, and artists usually only open them a handful of times throughout the year whenever they have slots available. Honestly, commissions were so vital for me when I was first starting out my stay-at-home artist journey, and I also think commissions are a fantastic way to learn exactly how to price your art, which is something I think a lot of artists struggle with, especially at the very beginning of your journey. Since when you're doing commissions, you price everything a certain way. People usually make price sheets depending on the detail or like the size of the work that you're going to be doing, and people often price things according to how long they think something will take them. And then obviously once you've completed the commission, you know exactly how how long it did take you and how much to charge for a similar project next time. Commissions are also a really great way to explore the exact kind of art that you really enjoy making. If you're a fiber artist like myself, your commissions can include creating one-of-a-kind handmade items like crochet plushies, embroidered portraits, or even custom knitted baby blankets. Again, this does depend on your medium, but if you are seeing a demand for a specific thing, like a specific kind of portrait or a specific kind of crochet plushie, then try and zone in on that and offer specific pricing for items like that, just to make the most success out of your commissions. I also mentioned that a lot of artists will only open up their commissions a handful of times throughout the year, which is a really good idea because it kind of creates a scarcity mindset among the people who want to support you and want to purchase your art. Commissions are also a really great way to make sure that you don't overbook yourself or sell too many slots, since you are in total control of how many commission slots you offer and exactly how much you're going to charge for each slot. If you're thinking of opening up commissions for whatever art it is that you create, I do recommend coming up with a very specific, detailed price list. This just makes it clear exactly how much you're going to charge for each piece of art, and your price list should also indicate a time frame in which your art is going to be completed and ready for download or ready to ship out to your customers. The next way you can make money as a stay-at-home artist would be monetizing on social media. I think this revenue source can be overlooked sometimes because it's a little bit daunting to think about and to think about achieving, but as somebody who is monetized on both Instagram and TikTok, two platforms that I use very regularly in order to market my business, I can tell you that it is absolutely achievable. So being monetized on both Instagram and TikTok, super close to being monetized on YouTube. So if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and give me a like if you haven't already. I would super appreciate it. Thank you so much. I use these social media pages to promote my small business solely. They are not personal pages. I only post about my hand embroidered shoes and my small business journey, my artist journey, and I'm by no means making crazy money from these social media pages. I've heard crazy things about people making like hundreds of thousands of dollars from TikTok. That is not the case for me. I'm actually in the middle of scripting a YouTube video where I share with you guys my exact income for a month and I break down my revenue sources just to be transparent, because I do get quite a lot of questions about this, and I personally love watching transparent small business content, so be on the lookout for that video. But as I said, the money I make from social media right now isn't life-changing, but it is extremely helpful on a month-to-month basis for sure. So making money from these social media accounts on Instagram and TikTok is kind of like a cherry on top of a perfectly iced cake, because I was gonna be posting on those social media pages anyway to promote my business, to make more sales, but now I'm also being paid from it, which sounds like kind of surreal to even say. Both Instagram and TikTok, they want their users to stay on the app as much as possible to be able to watch ads, and that's how they make their money. So by helping them keep their users on the app by viewing my content, they then pay me a very small percentage of that money that they see, and that is the money that gets transferred into my bank account every month. So for the Instagram Reels bonus, I do think that invites are sent out randomly. I don't think that there's any kind of metrics that you have to hit specifically, but on TikTok, I do know that you have to have 10,000 followers and a certain number of watch hours during a month in order to be invited to their Creator Fund program. The best advice I can give you to receive invites to both of these programs is to create high quality content and to post very regularly. I'm not gonna lie, I used to feel a little bit cringe about posting 2 to 3 times a day on Instagram, especially when each of my posts would get like 2 to 3 likes, and one of those likes was my mum and the other was me. But these days it feels a lot less cringe. My social media presence has grown and I'm now being paid to post on social media. That is literally so wild to me. So you know what? It does not feel cringe anymore. The next way you can make money as an artist is by selling physical art at art fairs. Now I know this kind of goes against being a stay-at-home artist, but I have to mention arts and crafts fairs because I personally love them. Sadly, since the shoes that I sell are really custom and they take weeks and weeks to create, I don't get to sell at art fairs, but I do get to patronize them quite often, and it's something that I just love doing. It's a really fantastic place to meet and network with fellow small business owners and artists, and I'm somebody who will always choose to support a small business owner or artist over buying something on Amazon, especially for gifts and during the holiday season. I like to hit up like 2 or 3 art fairs every single week. I cannot be stopped. I've seen all kinds of art being sold at art fairs. This includes like physical art, physical prints, postcards, crochet goods. Anything crocheted or knitted tends to do really, really well at arts and crafts fairs. People love to buy fiber arts in person when they can see and touch the products. Handmade clothing and hair accessories. Handmade jewelry is a huge one. The amount of rings I've bought at art fairs over the years, don't tell my husband, but thousands and thousands of dollars worth. I should probably cut this bit out. Honestly, if you make art, you'll probably do fantastically well at an arts and crafts fair. It's usually such a fun atmosphere, and when people travel to an arts and crafts fair, they're usually going there with the intention of spending some money, hopefully spending some money on your handmade art. You just need to make sure that you can cover the booth fee that most art fairs charge for vendors. This is usually just a small fee that you pay to secure your little area at the art fair where you can put your booth. Also, think about your booth. Are you going to need things to display your art? If you make candles and such, you can layer them on different boxes. If you make jewelry, you need some stands in order to be able to display them all properly. All of these things need to be taken into account if you're gonna do an art fair, because people are really drawn to stands that look quite well organized. And if you're able to get some kind of banner with your logo and contact information and all of that good stuff on it, I would definitely recommend. Places like Etsy are a really great place to get things like this. You can get them customized, and it'll just lead to your booth drawing more attention and looking much more professional. Obviously, all of these things do cost money, and that's something else that you need to take into account. But once you have all of these personalized things, these display things for your booth, they're kind of like a one-time purchase, and you'll have them for the rest of the season, especially if you are considering doing more than one art fair. I think it's probably a really good thing to invest into. The next way that you can make money as a stay-at-home artist is by teaching courses and offering mentoring and coaching. I should preface this point by saying I don't have any experience in taking or teaching an online art course or receiving or giving mentoring or coaching of any kind. However, I do have plans to create a very extensive hand embroidered shoe course and offer it on a site like Skillshare or something. Details to be confirmed. I will let you guys know once I have more information on that. And I also do know a lot of fellow artists and social media gurus who offer things like one-on-one mentoring and coaching for those who want to become better at a certain art form or become better at promoting their small business and their art on social media. If you do have the knowledge to offer people, then I think offering mentoring and coaching can be a really great way to earn extra money as an artist and small business owner. And I think it's a really great use of your time as well. Teaching other people to improve their skills, I think, is a really invaluable use of your time. Again, you do need to make sure that you have information that others ideally want to learn. No one wants to pay and take a mentoring course from somebody who has just been doing that certain thing for 2 weeks themselves. You do need to be a professional and super skilled in the area in which you're offering mentoring and coaching. There are a bunch of online platforms that allow you to upload classes and extended art courses, which people then pay for. I think a lot of these platforms offer subscriptions to people and then they can access classes that way, which I think is a really good idea. As I said, I'm in the very, very beginning stages of developing my own shoe embroidery course, but this is something that will take up a very large portion of my time, which is something you should also consider if you are thinking of developing an extended art course in your own medium. Personally, I've always really enjoyed teaching, again, which is another reason why I have this YouTube channel, but it's a skill that I've definitely built up over the past couple of years. If you're considering filming an art course for your own medium, you'll need to make sure that it's really well planned out and structured and worth whatever it is you're going to be charging for it. And just a little disclaimer, I don't think that this stream of income will work for everybody, but I think it can definitely be an amazing form of passive income, especially if you film 1 or 2 classes and you find it really enjoyable, and then maybe you find your own niche of teaching art instead of creating it as much. Again, I say passive income because once you have filmed the art class, then it's downloadable and you don't need to ship anything out or work one-on-one with people. That's where mentoring and coaching is different. It's less of a passive income because you are going to be constantly working with the people that you are mentoring and coaching, which is definitely something to keep in mind, especially if you find you don't have a lot of free time as an artist. You're always creating, you're always rushing around to ship something out at the post office. Are you going to have time to mentor and coach people? Are you going to have time to sit down and film a very in-depth art course? All things to consider with this stream of income. The last stay-at-home artist income stream I'm going to be covering today is potentially writing a book. Now, this could be a book about your craft, kind of like a really extended how-to guide for your craft, or it could be a coloring book or just a collection of finished works. I recently signed a book deal and I'm in the process of writing an extremely detailed guide to shoe embroidery, which I am so excited about. I will be making a whole video on the entire process, so if you are interested in that, keep an eye out for it. It is coming soon. So in terms of book revenue, there are a couple of different things to consider. If you're going to be traditionally published, you'll likely be paid in advance up front, and then you'll earn royalties once your advance has earned out. Usually the advance is quite a nice chunk of money, so you'll have to sell quite a few books in order to start earning royalties. But if you're interested in going the self-publishing route, you'll make a lot more on royalties, but obviously there'll be no advance payment up front. I think the self-publishing route works really well for coloring books and books of collected finished works. I'm thinking like coffee table books, just really beautiful published works of art. And you can actually publish these super easily through Amazon. There are a bunch of really helpful videos on YouTube on how to self-publish books just like that. It seems like a relatively simple process and one that I would definitely look into, especially if you have a following on social media and a bunch of people that you think might be interested in buying a book from you. Okay, so that's a relatively long list of different income streams that could allow you to become a stay-at-home artist just like me. I really hope this video was a little bit helpful. Maybe you've taken away a couple of tips and tricks that you maybe hadn't thought of before. And I really hope that if it is your dream to become an artist who works from home and creates their art all day, that you are able to achieve that dream with the help of this video. If you haven't already subscribed, I would recommend doing that if you enjoyed this video. I do make a lot of small business content, a lot of artist content, and a lot of hand embroidery tutorials. Please leave me a like if you haven't already, and maybe leave me a comment down below for your favorite income stream that I mentioned in this video, or if you have a whole new income stream that I didn't mention, I would love to hear it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye!